Hey, welcome back to this Android Studio course. And the objective of this tutorial is to learn how to create a new project and also learn the different sections found in Android Studio. So to get started, start your Android Studio application or the ADE. Click Create New Project. As you can see here, we have different options. You can either create a new project, you can open an existing project, you can get from version control, profile or debug an application, import project, or even import an Android code sample. So our main focus in this tutorial will be to create a new project. But guys, stay tuned so that we can be able to learn how to work with the different sections. So when you create a new project, a new panel will appear with project template. So you can select the basic activity, bottom navigation, empty activity, all different activities found within the select project template panel. So in our case, we are going to work with an empty activity. So click next. So as you can see, this panel, you're supposed to configure your project. To configure your project, you're supposed to give it a name. So we can call this one first app. The package name, as you can see, it starts with the net LandTech first app. So as you can see, this is the domain name. It should be the package name should be unique, so that when you're uploading your project on a Play Store, it doesn't conflict with any other application that is submitted. So it's always recommended that you start with your domain name in a reverse order, and then you add the project name. Then the location where you want to save your project. We have different languages. We can decide to use Java or we can use Kotlin. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how we can be able to use Java. Also, select the minimum SDK. So you can be able to select between different SDK. You can see we have from 4.1, that is Jelly Bean, to AL, that is Android 11. So in this tutorial, we are going to concentrate with Marshmallow, that is Android version 6. Once you finish configuring your project, remember we are using an empty activity, click Finish. So your project will load. As you can see, we have this bottom panel. It's showing the background task. It's now building, trying to import some libraries. Let me enlarge this window. So as you can see, the bottom background task that we are running have now been are now through. So our project is ready and we can get started with development. But our main focus was to learn the different sections that we find in Android Studio once we are creating our project. So to start with, as you can see here, it's a directory panel. So this session lists the project directory. When you click on Android and click on the project, you'll be able to find your whole project here. You can be able to click on your directory and a subdirectory will appear. We have Gradle, we have IDEA, we have App, we have Gradle. We also have external libraries. If you need to add external libraries, as you can see. To reduce all these, I like working with Android. And then you can have a simplified project directories or project structure. So to start with, we have the manifest. Within the manifest, what is found here is the project declaration of the activity and the permissions. If your project uses internet permission, you can create here uses permission, internet. Also, as you can see, we have our main activity and we have said this is the launcher activity. Then we go to Java. Within the Java folder, we have the package name. So as you can see, we have the package name, that is net learntech.first application, and we have the main activity. So when you click on the main activity, this is another panel that opens, which is the code editor section. So we are going to look at this one in the when we complete looking at the project directory. So here within the Java folder, it's where we write all our Java code. Then we go to less folder. We have drawable folder. So drawable folder, it's where we place all our image assets. So if you want to have a background image, you place it on the drawable folder. We have layout. We define our layout files within the layout. As you can see here, we have activity main.xml. This is where now we write our XML code, where we allow the user, or the one that is going to be displayed to the user. For instance, as you can see here, we have hello world, which is displayed here as hello world. Then we have memap. It's also an asset directory. We place IC launchers images. For example, when your app is installed on the device, there is always an icon that you see. That icon, it's found on the memap. Then we have another subdirectory called values. Within the values folder, we have color. So colors, it's where now you place all your colors that you're going to use in your application. You can define different colors. You can say color, and then maybe you can say green, and then you just need to place the green color here. I don't know the code for green color, but we can just click at this end, and then you select the color you want. From there, we have strings. Remember, we don't want to add code strings within the Java folder. So what we do, we add strings here. For instance, we can define another string. We can say console, and then we can say console. We have themes. Most of the time, we require to create themes for our application. So you define your theme here that is going to land in your application. We can close the app directory and then open the Gradle script. We have the main build Gradle. The main build Gradle, most of the time we interact with the second one, whereby we add our libraries here. So as you can see, we have compile SDK, that build tool, and then you have some default configuration when this application is supposed to learn minimum SDK 23, target SDK 30, your version. Like when you're uploading to Play Store, you are supposed to increase this one, version name, then we have build type, and then here compile options. Finally, if you want to add a library, you add it within the dependency folder. So we are done with the project directory. So we are going to look at the code editor area, and we are going to open one file, and I'm going to open the Java file that is main activity. This is now where we write our code. For example, you can write a function here, public void open shortest, and then you can toast utils. You can say toast dot make text, and you're calling it from this activity. The text you want to display is hello, and then you want to the duration to be toast dot length long, and finally you want to show. You can call this method within the onCreate function, and it is going to display within the create. Once the activity starts, it's going to toss this message with a arrow. So this is the code editor area. When you're editing an XML file, we're going to learn more about editing Java file, editing XML file, editing GLaDOS file, adding external libraries. So guys, I urge you to stay subscribed so that you can learn more. So here we are. As you can see, when you're editing an XML file, another panel appears here. So this area gives you a visual of your application, like the way you arrange your screen. For example, if I want to add a button, and then I'm going to lap my content, and I'm going to lap my content, and then I'm going to give my button a text, and I'm going to say text, or I can say button 1, button 1. And then guys, remember here we are using constraint layout as our parent layout. So I'm going to make another tutorial explaining how to work with constraint layout. So stay subscribed. So in this case, I'm going to just position this button below the text hello world. So I'm going to start of parent, and then I'm going to end of parent, and then I'm going to give this text view ID, and then I'm going to say TV hello world. So this button will be top bottom of TV hello world, and then I'm going to give it some top margin of 15 deep. So as you can see, we have our button here guys. It's button 1, and it's positioned below the hello world. We can decide to see this as a full design, and as you can see, we have 2 screens. So you can either have design and blueprint, design only, or you can have a blueprint only. I like working with both of them. So that's the code editor area and the design area. So here bottom we have different options. We have to do, we have terminal, you can learn your apps terminal here. We have the build, it shows you the logs for the build. You have the log cut, whatever is happening when you're learning your application. Sometimes you might need to add logs. You'll see your logs here. Please stay tuned for more tutorials. I'll be explaining more about logs. We have profile, and we have database inspector, especially when you're working with Loom database. I'll also make a series of Loom database. So in today's tutorial, our main focus was to learn how to create a new project and different areas or sections found in Android Studio, which I believe we have already exhausted. So in our next tutorial, we are going to learn how we can be able to learn our first application, create an emulator, and learn our first application using emulator. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe for more tutorials.